I'm recording right now.
So, okay.
Because we're going to get all this as B-roll, because we're going to fuck it up pretty bad.
Yeah.
All right. It's like press D. Keep the mic in front of your lips. All right. Yeah, so anyway, to kind of address what you talked about when you walked in here, I have no format. I have no strategy. So
let's wing it.
Yeah. So new toy, couple things first. So I've got a sound pad on here. So let's see. The sound pad is that guy. And check this out. Got triggers, right? That one's predictable. And we're back, right? Yeah. There we go. Now I don't like that one. Pretty cheesy. Dumb. That's for soccer mom. Right? That's another like gong show. Getting better.
A little hip hop.
Here we go. No, these last three are predictable.
I agree.
Right? Now we got that one ready to go. And this is one of the longer ones too. I haven't figured out how to stop it though when it does that. Until it's over, I think. Yeah, there we go. So that's going to be primarily safe for Mike Cornelius, who's going to be listening to this pilot episode. So sorry, Mike. See, there we go.
Yeah. Ba-da-dum-bum.
So we still have. So these are like the sound bank. We have 36 choices. So this is a socialist podcast in so much that everybody has an opinion. Sure. And we'll build this out. So we have 18 more to fill. And I messed around with it today. And I put my 9-year-old in the headphones with the mic. I said, I need a beat. I need something. Give me something to fill. And he gave me this one. Right? Now, what I told him to do was go boots and cats and boots and cats and boots. It's like hip-hop rap 101. Boots and cats. He learned that from Scrub. And this is his version. Yeah, not good. But we'll save it. So, first things first. We've been talking about a podcast for a while. I think I mentioned it, and then Zach was like, hell yeah, because I think he listens to more podcasts than he does his family.
That's probably true.
Again, press defense. Mike, a little closer to the mouth there, Jared.
Got it.
So we can hear you. We keep that up. All right. So the idea was, after us standing around countless soccer fields talking shit, figured this is crazy, do not put this on tape. Right? Because the things we talk about are enlightening, informative, educational.
Agreed.
Stupid. Childish at times.
Emotional.
So why not give it to the world, right? And the name seemed pretty obvious to me. Some form of soccer dad podcast, right? A little too cheesy. But that's okay, though.
To the point.
Well, so I've been messing around with it, and I think that we do the, all caps, Soccer Dad Pod. The Soccer Dad Pod. And if you say it really fast, it's like the Soccer Dad Bod. Which elicits a whole other bad images. So we're starting there. So this is pilot. This is not episode 1. We probably will screw this up, for a while. So we might have multiple pilots until we figure out how to do it right.
Trial and error.
Yeah. And, like I said a second ago when you walked in, format-wise, let's treat it like our soccer lives, with kids, where we start off completely unorganized in Pee Wee, hoping that they chase the ball and don't pick daisies. And we'll just treat the podcast accordingly. We'll grow.
Yeah.
So year one, season 1.
Season 1.
We'll call season 1 Pee Wee.
Pee Wee. Okay.
You cool with that?
Yeah, I'm excellent with that. I was hoping Shower would be here today because I know he's a big Liverpool fan. And I was just thinking ways to get at him because he's a Liverpool guy. And I did hear that there was a gentleman found dead. Liverpool police found him. He had a Liverpool jersey on. He had women's underwear on. He had fishnet stockings.
And he had a dildo in his ass.
The police decided to take the Liverpool jersey off of his person to save any more embarrassment for his family.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you? And if and when Brian listens to this, he's already like taking notes. He's probably Googling Chelsea jokes or something like that, right? And we've gotten way out ahead of ourselves too because we haven't even introduced ourselves.
Yeah.
My name is JB Anderson, a.k.a. Beckett's dad, because at this point, as a founding member of the Soccer Dad Pod, we really don't have identity. we are our children's Uber providers. And when people look at us, it's like, oh, you're Keller's dad, you're Beckett's dad.
Yeah. Well said.
And guest 1 co-host for the day, who will be back often. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Jared Bertrand, a.k.a. Drew's dad. Also fellow Uber stock holder, Uber employee. I only have one customer. He keeps me very busy.
Birdie. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Nickname.
And his nickname is Birdie.
Yeah, it's so it's interesting because we all a small group of us played soccer, way back. So the whole title moniker of Soccer Dad is really kind of partially intended to insult, to make fun of, and as ex-players. It's funny whenever I hear, hey, you're a soccer dad, or hey, there's a soccer dad, there's immediate connotations that come to mind. And the older I get, I kind of fall into it. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Like, I got no problem being, well, my kids would say has been.
Yeah.
Did do.
Yep.
No longer. Can't do.
If you talk to him about any portion of the game, you have no idea what you're talking about.
No, because they have FIFA.
Yeah.
And I don't play Xbox.
Yeah.
Now, Zach is apparently an Xbox freak. Like, that's how he bonds with Grady after they deal with soccer all day. They go home and get Xbox battles on FIFA, and apparently that's therapy. I wouldn't do that, though.
I can't control the guy good enough.
No.
So I'm a sore loser.
Well, all I do is figure out how do you slide, and then just do that over and over and over again.
And you have 6 yellow cards in the first 6 slides.
Yeah, my 9-year-old is like, Dad, it's 13-2, go upstairs. And he purposely gave me 2. So, yeah, so anyway, I think where I'm envisioning this whole series potential going is really kind of a hodgepodge, because we do live the majority of our lives vicariously at this point through our kids, due to primarily the things they're doing on the soccer field. But so much time is spent on the sideline, we inevitably get to know each other, everybody's families, careers, interests, politics, likes, etc. So it just made sense to me to create a format where we could take the nuance and have some fun with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's an excellent idea. I don't know that there is a more opinionated group in the world than Soccer Dad, and then, where's your sound? Soccer Mom.
Let's see here. That one is, give me a second, new toy. Yes. And here's to the lame joke. Right. See, I mean, that's like, and for those of you listening, clearly you can't see, we are definitely not wearing New Balance shoes. So this cheese is natural. So
Come by it honest.
yeah, exactly. One other thing I forgot to mention, and we'll get this down over time. The strategy I have as far as where and when we do this thing, because obviously we live downtown with the boys training 4 days, 5 days a week. We really couldn't be in a better place to actually take advantage of the neighborhoods and the craft breweries in particular that I'm sure we'll be glad to host until they won't be happy to see us. So for this pilot episode, we would like to toss a little shout out to Well Spent here on Olive. I dig this place. We started, actually, the first time I came here was when training first moved down here, and Zach was the one that recommended it. And their beer's good.
The Pils is delicious.
Yeah. Did you get which one did you get?
The Keller Pils, maybe?
I did too, and I did it kind of like as a homer because that is my oldest name.
Yeah.
So for the Soccer Dad pod, I'm like, how can I not drink
Keller Pils?
Keller Pils?
Yeah.
Great beer. And the little secret weapon here too, we stumbled upon is they don't have a kitchen. They have a steamer, but they have a partnership with the Tamale Man.
Oh.
So inside at this point, any day of the week they're open. $3. I think they're $3 a piece for two. Is a pork tamale or a veggie tamale. So I mean,
What else do you need?
no, yellow beer, cold and good. Doesn't have.
Not too hoppy.
Nope, there's no pomegranate or lavender in this thing. It tastes like beer.
Yep.
And tamales. And from here, what would you say? What are we, about a 3-iron to the fields?
Yeah, I would say, yeah. I mean, Zach, 3 irons.
Yeah, right. Left, right, center.
Yeah.
So I think what we'll do is we'll just make our rounds because here we're Well Spent. We have Urban Chestnut around the corner, their original location on Washington. You have Schlafly, clearly, that is going to be the Uber winner of the City SC Stakes with their location next to the stadium.
Yeah.
And 5-minute drive from anywhere. We got Modern Brewing. We've got what's the cider? There's the cider house that's down here as well. I don't know.
We're also going to have offshoot from the breweries, which we'll certainly hit all those. But, depending on how long this lasts, hopefully for a long time, we'll have the new 400-seat soccer bar adjacent to the stadium entrance on the southwest corner of Union Station?
Yeah, it's where the merch.
Yeah.
It's going to be the merch house. Yeah, I was looking at that, too, because they've got espresso machines and everything going in there. It's going to be a great place for us to camp out, too, during training. Keep it local. Definitely want to open this up to guests, too. So as we progress through here, not only will we rotate through a lot of the parents, family members that we know, that we see all the time, but think about people that we can have down or we can dial in. Now, I haven't figured out how to do it, and we'll try it in a second here, but apparently there's a way we can call people and literally just do what we're doing with them on the phone so they don't have to miss the podcast. So we're at halftime when we get a refill of our Vest sodas and orange slices, we'll call Zach, and in the second half, see if that works. Cool.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So a couple other things that, in my mind today, I was thinking that we should definitely tend to discuss theme music. Because it sets the tone.
Fires you up.
It does. From movies through TV and shows, sitcoms in particular. You remember you were a kid in the 90s, right?
Yeah. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Fresh Prince. Anything on Thursday night. All the music from Cheers, Night Court, etc. All those songs were great.
Yeah.
So I was, to me, being a lover of music in the music industry to a degree, this is very important to me. So what we have here, we're going to test it a little bit. We're going to play a little game briefly. I'm going to open up Spotify. I'm going to toss out the first song and play a little bit of it. And let's get a little gut response here. Like, sounds like a good intro song.
Okay.
Sounds like a great, let's wrap it up. So, let me see here. I was listening today because my kids make me listen to cool stuff that I wouldn't otherwise because I'm old. And
I thought you'd be at the Who concert tonight. Can't believe you made time for this.
no, I have a thing. You see, that's a great topic. Like legacy bands.
Yep.
Classic rock legacy bands. I won't do it.
I don't know that I can go to anybody over 70.
Which is basically all of them.
And I went to Elton John and Billy Joel this year.
Elton John's like 90.
And they both rocked. I heard Steven Tyler's still rocking.
And he's doing duets with
Dua Lipa?
horrible people, like, of good songs. He's taking the greatest songs ever that he co-wrote, and he's ruining them for a generation that doesn't give a shit. That's weird to me. So, here's the first tune. Play a little bit of it. Get a little vibe. Ready? Here we go. Let's see. All right, I'm going to turn this up. Right? Kind of like walking out of the tunnel, right? A little soccer vibe. Right? And then, when we're ready. And here we are, faded down. And we're back, right? It's got a little pop to it.
Yeah.
Here, it's your. What's it called in baseball? I'm a total nerd. What's this? Your walk-up song, whatever.
Yeah, just your walk-up song, man.
We need a walk-up song. It would help if I turned the volume up. Sorry about that. All right. You're going after the kids, aren't you?
Well, it's better than I Believe I Can Fly from R. Kelly, I guess.
Yeah, this one might be a little expensive to get, though. Because if we really do end up doing well with this, we're probably going to have to pay some money to somebody to use their music. So,
moving on.
Yeah, let me see here. Another one that I was thinking of, which would be very expensive, but let me see here. Here we go. Right. A little K-Sheet classic.
I just put the pig sticker on my refrigerator, on my beer fridge.
The stickers were on my to-do list to talk about today because your wife snagged one from here.
Yeah, and it looks great.
Right?
It's great.
But this track here kind of makes you want to go fight somebody in a good way.
It does fire me up.
In a modern way.
It does fire me up.
Remember tying your copas back in the day, and you have a ghetto blaster in the room.
Going underneath the spikes and then on top of the tongue.
Yep, then you had to tape it down a little bit. Ooh. Right?
Just after you get them just broke in, they're a little yellow on the bottom.
There you go. Your turn. Find the next one. We'll play a few so that whenever Zach listens to this, he can toss some votes and suggestions.
Well, if Zach's gonna listen, I need to touch a chord, if you will.
See, I can't hear this and not think of old boy with the Sunny D cruising around skateboarding, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yep, I do.
Here, let's turn it up.
The internet sensation during COVID.
Yeah.
The TikTok sensation.
Yeah, he did not look like a Fleetwood Mac fan.
No, he didn't. But he looked happy.
But really, who isn't a Fleetwood Mac fan?
I don't.
There are people that say they're not, but they really are. Oh, is it raining a little bit?
I don't believe it is. This happens to be, I think, old Zachary's second favorite band.
Really? Who's his first favorite? Are you embarrassed to say?
No, because it's iconic. It fits him perfect. The music is great. Queen.
Queen? Yeah. Well, perfect balance of rock and roll and theater.
Yep.
I get it.
Beautiful voice.
Yeah. All right. So there's a few options. the other one, there was a couple that I was like, we can go after the. Where is it? Here it is. Right?
This is
Totally cliche.
after soccer in college and later on having adult beverages at the Night Spot
Yes.
in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Right. No, for sure. It was that time. It was Moby, Daft Punk. It was a little Euro influence.
Yeah. One More Time.
Oasis was still relevant. Unique time. So, point being, we have choices. But again, being a homer, tell me what you think of this one. Let me see here, real quick. All right.
Love the beat.
See where it goes.
I feel it in my bones. I feel it in my soul. The way she dances.
What do you think?
Me feel like I'm not
I
home.
like it. I like the beat. I like the beat. I think we potentially.
Now the boys are back in
I liked when you put on AC/DC and you wanted to quote unquote fire us up a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's get fired up.
Yeah, this is me
Get
just
tropical.
This is just me being a helicopter dad. This is Keller. This is my son. So he's got 3 tracks out. This one is his he quote, "I want an 80s kind of synth pop song, Dad." I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "Because of Stranger Things." And I'm like, "Okay,
Brilliant.
I was thinking Miami Vice, but he's like, "Huh?" And he just kind of stares at me. So yeah. So there's that one. Anyway. We can revisit that. We'll take suggestions from the caller line, which is also everybody that's listening to this are only people that know me. Text me suggestions. That'd be awesome. Text Jared. Let's get some ideas going here. But we are definitely approaching halftime here, and this ref is like, these kids are losers. So we're going to give him a break. We're going to make sure it's not raining, and we're going to get refills on our beers. Peace. So I have an idea. Why don't you move 58 minutes away from civilization so you can drive even farther every day to work?
Well, when I'm 58 minutes away from civilization, there's no civilization there, so it's kind of a balance. There's a balance to that.
Dana, Jared Bertrand, buddy, fellow soccer dad, is on the microphone now with headphones. So you're my beta. You're my guinea pig. Say hello.
Dana, how are you, sir?
Hello. How are you?
Excellent. And you talked about 58 minutes away from civilization. I live in Wentzville. So
Oh, yeah.
So I am at least 50 minutes away from this civilization.
Well, I've never been to where my brother lives. I'll tell you that right now. I've been past where he lives, and I can tell you that Wentzville is Manhattan compared to Maple Grove, Illinois.
Really? Okay.
I would agree with that, and I've only been to Wentzville once.
Why were you there?
Here's what's odd. Here's a strange thing. The guy whose farm where I stay, he's dating a girl from Wentzville. And so he
Matt?
lives 50 minutes away east, and he goes 50 minutes past west to be able to see his girl. Yeah.
That's miserable.
Isn't that insane?
Well,
Well, he's a farmer.
no, he's not a farmer. Tell him what he does,
Yeah.
Dana.
He's a gentleman farmer. I will give him that. He does grow crops, and he has chickens and goats and sheep and guineas and turkeys and ducks. So that's farmer enough. There's 22 acres.
Is his name Old McDonald?
No. But he works at ConocoPhillips.
Okay.
So
Well, yeah, but tell him the best thing about the guy.
he's a nude farmer. He's a nudist. That's not the best thing about him, but that's the one that everybody seems to focus on.
It's the only thing I laugh about.
It's like Elysium. So you live at Elysium.
I don't know what Elysium is.
Oh, it's a great Paul Rudd movie. You need to watch it. It's delicious. It is hilarious.
Hey, Dana, I'm going to try something real quick here. Hold on a second. Let's see if this works.
Okay.
Can you hear that?
No. I don't know what you're doing, so I'm just going to say no. You can't hear anything different.
Well, just so you know, we can hear it. What I'm doing, we've been just debating intro music, so I decided to play one of your tunes as a little buffer here to test, introduce you. You're on a pilot. You're not actually on an episode, so you don't get paid for this, by the way.
Well, that's usually how it works with you, so I didn't expect anything.
Well, your blood. Your blood.
I'm aware.
You know?
I'm aware.
I believe that I was always pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today, brother, as well. So.
Yeah? No, that's fine.
All right. Since you're trying to bust my balls, I'm gonna turn your music off. Wasn't that good anyway. All right. So here's the concept. You obviously grew up in the station wagons with me, with Ryan. Mom and Dad driving us all over the Midwest to go see what was usually not very competitive soccer games in cornfields somewhere.
Right.
So the idea was we as parents with Beckett and Jared's son, Birdie, Drew, we spend an insane amount of time around each other at these practices and we talk a lot of shit about a lot of stuff. So it was like, being the capitalist I am, like, why don't we put this on a podcast?
This is literally the definition of a podcast.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to fish out of you here is, I just gave you the basic premise. We've been discussing potential walk-up songs, intro songs from Hell's Bells to Daft Punk to not Dana Anderson.
Right.
Give me some ideas and things that you, as a forced soccer fan in your life, what would you potentially, like if you were on a desert island and you had to listen, what would you want us to talk about? Cyanide?
On a desert island?
Yeah, where? I mean, well, no, just on your daily commute from Maple Grove, Illinois. I mean, you're in the middle of nowhere. What would what kind of topic would make you pause and see how?
Pay a little more attention.
What's that?
And pay a little more attention?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm drawn to the stories behind the creation of art, like the whys and hows people come up with whatever it is they've made or that they're recognized for.
Do you really
so
need
it
me?
would be the same it would be the same for, like, I would want to know, like, the behind the scenes on, like, why somebody chose to be a professional soccer player and what they think, like, the steps or, like, the mindset that was necessary for them to get there, and, like, what they felt was sacrifice and what they felt was, like, gain.
What it took.
So more the behind the scenes on anything that somebody considers like their creation, their life, right?
Passion.
Passion. That's what I'm interested in.
So you didn't figure that out living with me for 18 years? Jesus.
I mean, you learn from people in two ways.
From
you
mistakes.
learn by admiring them or learning what not to do. So I learned a lot from them. So yeah.
Well, all right. So let's talk a little bit about you, though. You are our first call-in guest.
Okay.
You are 13 months my junior. Obviously, we grew up together in Granite City. You, from a sports standpoint, as a kid, you thrived at. What did you prefer? You tell your story.
Is this a question, or are you going to tell me?
No, you're the storyteller. I'm just kind of teeing it up for you a little bit.
No. I didn't thrive at any sport. I was there for the pizza party afterwards. Like, that was my whole thing. It was a social gathering, and it was what everybody else seemed to be doing. And I really didn't care if we won or lost. And I just enjoyed it as much as I could, and was more about hanging out with friends. And the activity was secondary for me. I was never competitive.
Well,
So it wasn't like win or loss for me was never an issue.
How did your soccer dad treat you with that? How do I say it? With that approach.
He was very laid back, and he was there as a dad first, and he was fine with it. Like he actually, I mean, you could tell when there was a little bit of disappointment in the result whenever it was a bad game or there wasn't the effort or there was a lack of interest. But overall, he tried not to let that show because he knew it was exactly why I was there, a social event for a kid, for them to spend time with their friends and try to have fun at.
Absolutely.
Winning was secondary to all that. So he knew it, and he was a good coach because of it. I had other coaches that were more about the win. And there's something in that too. I'm not saying that's a negative. I'm saying it's just a different approach as to how to use sports as a practice as an interaction in life.
Well,
right?
to interject, it's like we learned the truth years later, because there were three boys. I was the oldest. Dana was second, 13 months behind, and then Ryan, our youngest, was 22 months behind. He recently passed away, so there's two of us. So it's like a lot of this circling back round for me has been really therapeutic, thinking about how they raised us, the way they raised us. And I've been thinking a lot about, my dad was my coach for like 1 year, but he was really Dana and Ryan's coaches for a lot longer. But in hindsight, years later, my mom was telling us a story one time about the soccer fields and, how involved we were, and Dad was always forced to coach or asked to coach. And really and the story is he was forced to coach. She told him when we were all old enough to basically walk and enroll in sports that you did this to me, get out of the house somehow. so he was what's that called? Drafted.
Yeah.
That's
where the four of you guys landed.
Yeah, every Saturday and Sunday, it was funny because, so many times one of the areas of conversation is always like, oh, were you raised Catholic, Baptist, whatever? And we're like, no, we were raised on a soccer field.
Yeah.
Every Sunday morning was get out of the house, go there. We have no idea, and in hindsight, and Dana will probably concur here, I have no idea what my mom did on weekends. She would show up occasionally to games. She was definitely not at every game. But in hindsight, there were thousands of hours of us not there. And I just imagine her sitting on the couch, like eating pickles and popcorn or whatever. And
well, with three boys 2 years apart, she probably did whatever the hell she wanted to do. Because when you guys were not at a soccer field, she was doing everything for you.
Yeah, it was, I don't know, Dana, what's your recollection? Like, do you feel in hindsight that we were basically just kicked out of the house to give her freedom, or was there actual value intended?
I think she deserved it. She had the shop in the house. She was raising three boys. She was PTA mother and she was basically working for the school because she didn't like the way she wanted to be involved in our lives. So she spent all of her week raising us, managing her business, which was exhausting. Like, to me, it's an exhausting job, standing behind that chair all day, trying to put on a smile, listening to all the stories and engaging, and then doing the actual work of cutting their hair and perming and all that. And then us on top of it, like feeding us. And so if Saturday and Sunday was her day to take a little time for herself, and it was Dad's turn to take us to the soccer fields and get us out of the house, and yeah, she deserved every minute of free time, like for herself, for those days.
And just to clarify for you, Jared, and anybody that the two people that might listen, she was a cosmetologist. She cut hair.
Yeah.
And really, she cut a little bit of hair. What she really did, she had all these blue hairs. She
held church.
Yeah, she did. It was set and comb. Yeah. That was it. I mean, they went there to drink her burnt coffee, sit there and talk about Granite City politics.
Yeah. She was a psychiatrist for those ladies, like
Yeah,
a
and
Dr.
we
Phil.
therapist.
and we had, we joke, but it's like we had 32 grandmas in our life, because as a kid
That is
we,
true.
like they all changed us. They knew everything about us, and when we would graduate, be a line of blue hairs ready to give us their $10 checks at graduation.
Yeah.
So,
No, it was $2 bills. They all
yeah.
had $2 bills for some reason, like as a
man.
gift.
So
I got the $50.
Yeah,
see,
nice.
well, we're from Granite City, so I don't know. They melted all that shit down. They
Total metal.
right, got rid
Plug.
of it. So, yeah. So I don't want to keep you, Dana. Where are you off to tonight? What are you doing?
Dos Vivo for the Gusman and Coyote show.
You're not playing. You're just listening.
Yeah, I'm just going to see a show.
So real quick, while you're on this recording, tell people all your socials. Where can they find you? Where can they listen?
Oh.
And when they do listen, what are they going to hear?
Well, you can find all my music on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, YouTube, under Dana Michael Anderson. I had to add the middle name because whenever I would show up to a place they never had me before, they expected a girl. And Facebook, Dana Anderson, or Dana Michael Anderson, either one. And I'm a singer-songwriter, folk, Americana, country, singer-songwriter stuff. And I have 3 CDs and then a bunch of other material out there as well. If you do a deep dive, especially on YouTube, there's some live stuff and a demo 5-song EP somewhere on there. I think Bandcamp. Other than that, yeah,
One time at band camp.
yeah.
At Bandcamp. Well, Dana, thanks for being the guinea pig. Hopefully it worked, because I haven't played it back, so it might just be me and Jared talking to dead air in between if the phone didn't
Okay.
record. And if it didn't record, I'll figure out how it did record, and we'll have to redo this another time.
That sounds fine by me.
Be safe, Dana.
All right, brother.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Nice
man.
meeting you as well.
We'll talk to you later.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye.
Well, that works.
Well, we think it works.
Yeah.
I think it works. I'm not sure, but I like how that felt. You know,
Well, it's good to get an opinion, a voice, something that, okay, so we've outlined that we're here as families, all different beliefs, all different, come from different places, but we're all kind of the same, and actually the same family, because we spend so much time together.
Yeah.
That it's nice to get that perspective.
Well, it's funny because it's like, in kind of leading off and trying to figure out where I wanted to go in the conversation with him, being the soccer dad pod, he being the age that he was, and because he wasn't really into a lot of other sports, he played a lot of other sports. He was good at other sports. But
Wasn't his passion.
No, music ended up being his passion. He didn't realize it at the early ages, but he morphed into it. He was always the artist. He was drawing, painting, doing all that. And frankly, he was the too close in age younger brother that the two of us, we battled for 18 years straight. I mean, that was our life. But he did, again, referencing the whole soccer dad thing. His dad was a soccer dad. It was my dad. And my dad was a unique individual that, he did all the things right to put us in a position to respect. It wasn't about the game. It was never about the game. It was about the process. It was about being around friends, building the camaraderie, the work ethic, helping stripe fields, helping to go and cut oranges. I mean, we did all that shit. And all the other kids, they roll up in their not station wagons. We were the station wagon family. And
We get dropped off, and
yeah, and I do attribute like a lot of my I'll call it success, but I was not like I was never paid to do what I did. It paid for college, but I wasn't paid to do what I did. But going out there, that gave me an extra 2-3 hours a week of kicking a ball at goals, that had nets on them, because my dad was the one putting the nets up, and I felt privileged. And all that over the years, that's what led to my kind of passion for the game. And
I got so many stories that are almost identical.
yeah, go ahead. I mean,
My dad comes from the same mold. Coached football in California for years. Was never a soccer guy. Fell in love with it when I started playing. We moved here in '82. Soccer didn't really exist. He was a football, basketball, baseball guy. I told him I wanted to play soccer. By the time I was in high school, my dad was the groundskeeper for our high school, and we had the best field in the city. And he put a lot of passion, a lot of effort.
What city was that? Where
it was in O'Fallon.
You guys grew up in
St.
O'Fallon?
Dominic.
Okay.
And Kevin Sod Farms in the late '90s had just did a good deed and donated. We had a horse pasture for a soccer field probably in the early '90s, and the Kevins, gracious that they are, they sodded the field, and it was beautiful. And my dad and another teammate of mine, a good friend of mine, and his dad, they did all the mowing, they did all the weed eating, they did all the patching, they did all the striping, they did everything. And it's very similar to our stories as far as I didn't realize it when I was 15 to 18 years old, but now I realize how much I should have appreciated that, and how awesome it was.
Yeah, no, it's funny because I alluded to the learning process in hindsight of why things happen, talking about, my mom. At one point, she gave him an ultimatum and said, this is what you're going to do. They're going to go play soccer. And part of it was like, all three could do it. It was very cheap, and it's going to keep you out of the house a long time. And then years later, right around the same time that I figured out that she was really just expatriating us, he was out there, and my dad was very, very social. And it was so funny because, I find out he's out there with his buddies, smoking weed and doing all this other things. And because in hindsight, at the time I'm 5, 6, 7 years old, he was still he had me at 23, 22. He was very young. So, and I think about myself in my late 20s, I was a shithead.
Oh, God. If they had social media, I'd be just getting out of jail.
Yeah, well, I didn't know you back then, but I guarantee you would probably still be in jail. So, but it's funny, like you learn more about your parents over time, and unfortunately for Dana and I, we've not only lost my brother, like I mentioned earlier, but we lost my parents in 2014 back to back.
Damn it!
So in a short period of time, relatively short period of time, because I'm only 46. I turned 47 in a little bit. It's too young to lose all that, but these stories mean more now, than whenever I found them. When I found out, I was like, oh, that's cute. That's what it is. And then as all of this starts to disappear, I'm like, you know what? That's what makes us us. And no, it's cool. It was, calling Dana was literally an impromptu. I had no idea I was going to, but I wanted to see if it worked. It worked, and he's a good interview because he's an artist. He can talk. He can tell his stories. He writes. He's a phenomenal.
He's well spoken.
He's a phenomenal songwriter. I mean, I would really highly encourage anybody to check his music out. It's good. One song in particular that if you do it, it's called "Tired Old Suit." It's a great story because it literally is this song he wrote. Started writing probably around 15, 16, 17, somewhere in there. And it literally is about a singular black suit that he bought that was intended for a wedding that given what happened in our lives, it ended up being the suit for all of those things that happened.
Bro.
And it's, well, here, you know what? I'm going to test it. I'll edit this out if it doesn't work. But I'm going to play a little bit of it for you because I think you'll appreciate it. See, right out of the gate, you can hear like the production is. This is recorded here in St. Louis, down at Sawhorse. But
with rainbows, there's good left on this tired old suit.
give you a little bit of it here.
And I've grown accustomed to the holes in my shoe.
Here's a cut.
I remember how it felt when I bought it brand new. Now there ain't much that's good left on this tired old suit.
Right?
That's a good track.
Here, I'm gonna scoot it down a little bit. There's this line in particular. All right, this should be close because there's certain things that resonate. Here you go.
I've worn this old suit. I remember I looked when I bought it brand new.
This line right here.
See the clothes make the man, I say. The man makes the suit. With the longer you wear it, the more that it looks like you.
Who do you? It's on the tip of my tongue. Who? That style, or at least that song and that voice. Excellent, by the way. There's some similarities to somebody that's mainstream.
Well, I don't know. You know, Dana, clearly we are not country folk.
No.
We growing up where we grew up, we were more industrial alternative, right? We're a steel town.
Yep.
Now, that being said, we were also a 10-minute chip shot to the horseradish capital of the world and sweet corn. So there's a lot of farming around us. But I think that there's a specific sound that is, when I grew up in the mid-late 80s, Uncle Tupelo and the Americana alt country scene was blowing up, where it was edgy. It was clearly not country. It was clearly not rock and roll. It wasn't like
it was more new wave than outlaw country.
Yeah, outlaw. It didn't have that twang, that edge that outlaw country had, but it had this dirtiness in kind of the soul of the music. Yeah, and I think as Dana, growing up as a lover, as a listener of Tupelo and that genre, it clearly influenced his style from the get-go, but I think what's happened is he's lived his life, and when we have him back on, he'll probably totally correct everything I say, but he lived the songs. Whereas early in his career, he wrote songs that felt Americana, that felt appropriate, but this stuff now, like the holes in the suit and all these things, those are real. Those were lived experiences in that suit. It stemmed from all the experiences that he had with me and my brother at the time, with the death of our parents and funerals and everything else. So when he wrote the song, it wasn't making it up at that point.
It was heartfelt. Yeah.
So to answer your question, as far as what the sound is, I think the sound stylistically is just a storyteller. And that has a Midwest accent that is a blend of steel mill meets horseradish farm. Whatever that is, that's what it is to me.
Okay.
So yeah, no, it's unique. We're gonna take a break here because Jared is down to his last. And I will note that whenever I picked this particular location, I specifically picked it for tonight with you as guest one because it's outside. You can burn them. You're in the wide open.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to do one more short segment. A little bit of pop. There's one video from Twitter I saw today that I absolutely have to play for him to listen to, and we will attempt to call Zach Lewis on Pilot 1. Thank you.
Let's go.
All right, we're recording again, but here's what we're going to do. Name that tune, by the way.
It's Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
I don't know. Freddie Mercury, but I'm not. I don't know it.
Who wants to live forever?
Okay.
That's what it is. So we're playing this in honor of our absent friend who's watching youth basketball right now.
Really young youth basketball, mind you.
Yeah. So the score will be like 6-4. So what we're going to do, we're going to try and call him real quick. I'm going to dial this down a little bit. Because apparently they can't hear... They can't hear the music. They can only hear us talking to them. Okay. It's a tech issue above my pay grade. And probably is because both sounds are coming from the phone. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to shoot for Zach. Zach. All right, here we go. Let's see if he answers.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Can you hear me?
Oh boy.
You got the
Yes.
cough. You have the cough.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. I have scathed the cough.
You have what?
Maybe I didn't say it right, but I have not received the cough.
Really?
To my knowledge, I have not.
I'm lost. What are we talking about?
Well, there was a Lewis cough going around, and it was brutal.
Oh,
And it sounds like Zach may have the cough.
on your pineapple trip to
Yep.
Cincinnati.
Yep.
I got. By the way, full disclosure, you're being recorded right now. So,
Sweet. Well, you're gonna get the.
oh, I can hear the other cougher in the back. You guys are. That's
I'm
gross.
not coughing. That's Mandy.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point.
I haven't coughed yet.
You guys are like,
Maybe and Jared.
who's
you guys
that?
Are you guys at Well Spent?
We are.
Nice.
Is it well spent? Did I say well-being?
No, I think you said well spent.
I'll have to edit that out. We were thanking our hosts, who basically is just us buying their beer out on the patio. Yeah, so here's the deal, Zach. You were obviously one of the co-creators, idea makers, and I know that whenever you saw the text today and the photos of all the gear and everything else, you were pissed off that you couldn't be here.
Yes.
Being a podcast fanatic. So I made an extra trip on my way to soccer practice tonight to make sure that I bought the right cables and attachments so that we could attempt to dial in, and you were the second dial in.
Oh, second. Thank you.
Yeah, because if it didn't work, it would be okay if my brother was the first one, and it worked. So then that allowed us to go ahead and call you.
Nice. Well, I feel very privileged and honored.
Yeah, so now you can't hear it. Well, let me see here. Yeah, you can't hear that, can you?
No, I can't. What am I supposed to be hearing?
So you can't hear it, but just know on the recording, whenever I put this out, the people will hear Queen, which is, according to Jared, is your favorite band of all time.
This is true. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Well, there you go, man. You get bonus points for knowing his favorite band of all time.
Bonus points.
I know Zachary really well.
All right, we killed it because enough theater rock for a minute. So, Zach, we need your quick preamble to the Soccer Dad Pod. Give us your opinion as to what it is, how it came to be, and what you expect it to grow into.
I think the Soccer Dad podcast idea came out of a necessity for a voice that's underrepresented in the soccer world of St. Louis, which is the voice of the dads and maybe parents in general who get to schlep their kids all over for training, for games, in town, out of town, tournaments, hotels, crappy restaurants, and just being able to...
And some good restaurants.
And some good restaurants, that's true. And just give an opportunity to express how it's, actually impacting our lives, not just the lives of the kids that are playing. So that's my preamble.
Okay,
Well said.
that was a little cookie cutter. Okay,
I can spice it up if you want.
Okay, so let's do it this way, because this will be an explicit podcast. I'll put the warnings out on every single one.
Oh, good. Okay,
no matter.
that's good.
So you just gave us the PG version.
I did.
Now, given the amount of conversations and topics and lobby happy hours and road tripping and everything else, give us the rated R/NC-17 version of what people can expect from a soccer dad at their worst.
I think they're going to get
brother.
a
Because I'm
rant-filled, opinionated, unabashed version of what we view as the truth of what we think it should be, meaning how good our kids are compared to every other kid out there. How coaches are terribly inadequate and unqualified to determine who's good and who's not on the field at any given time, and the politics around decisions that are made with these boys.
Well, that's awfully political.
Yeah.
Which
Well, I'm actually at a CYC game. I'm at a church, and so I'm trying to be a little respectful.
Did you yell at the ref yet?
No. There's already been 2 yellow cards at a U10 CYC game, though.
I thought you were at basketball.
No, soccer.
Oh, okay. Well, then that makes this even more appropriate.
Yeah, dude, I actually got to watch first half of a senior night at Lafayette. They played Parkway West and won 2-1. Final in the last 10 seconds to put them up on senior night.
Wow.
And then from a quality perspective, not a major drop down to the U10 CYC, if I'm being honest.
Well, you've morphed into a soccer dad snob, though.
Absolutely.
Check, please.
Well, I mean, actually, this is probably a nice little segue, cool little topic. Except, well, Jared, you have one, so you'll get it, but you don't experience it. Yeah, you'll get it, but you don't experience it directly, and that is
different levels.
Yeah, because clearly our 3 boys that play on the same team, they play at an extremely high level, and we are forced, mainly by choice for me. I'm at almost all of it, right? We see a lot of soccer at a very high level. And then when we have others, children, or we have friends that, that
family,
we might go to game or they talk about the games. Zach, you take 20 seconds and talk about how do you temper expectations? How do you treat the game, having watched so much of what Grady has done on this particular team? How do you transition? And you can't just say, well, I love all my kids the same and it's awesome, but
I wouldn't. And I do love them all the same, but that has nothing to do with your question. It's an interesting question, because it's something that's a challenge for me, especially, with the high level that we've seen for so long with our boys, and then to, come and watch and try to feign interest in glorified playground kickball is difficult.
Man,
and
brutal.
For me, it's just there to support my younger son, who's not that interested in advancing his soccer career. He enjoys the game, enjoys playing with his friends, and that's good enough for me. As long as he's getting out and doing stuff, then I'm fine supporting it. But it is painful to watch. It's kind of like watching access television after an HBO documentary.
Well, let me ask. Let me ask
documentary.
Let me ask a quick question though. The painful part, because I have my own personal answer in regards to the pain. When you're at the game, what exactly is the painful part? Is it the game? Is it the play? Is it the ref? Is it the coaches? Is it what is it? What, where's
Well, I'm
your...
going to be real specific and piss off all the Catholics that listen to this podcast. The CYC League is a joke.
Hold on a second, though. Are you Catholic?
Whoa.
No, I'm not.
Jared, are you
not.
Catholic?
Yep.
Okay, so there's one Catholic that's listening to this podcast.
So just as an example, there are 2 refs per game. They both handle one sideline and one half. So there's
And
one ref
catty corner to each other.
They're catty corner. Yep. And
there was a loud goal.
Yeah, and usually if they're above 12, then they're above 60. So there's very little middle ground. And so the quality of reffing is bad enough. But then you've got a bunch of kids, again, similar to my son, who, train once a week, have no aspirations of doing much beyond that. And so this is more of a rec league soccer.
Sure.
And so you have a lot of people who are sending their kids out there and they take up space on the field. And that's great. I'm happy for them. And again, I don't have the judgment on anything other than they're having a good time, but it's the quality of play in that it's about who can kick the farthest a lot. And so you hear a lot of, ooh, that was a big kick.
We're talking about American soccer right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just going to completely interject here. Here's my issue.
Go for it.
It's the parents. The parents are my
it
issue.
Is.
It's kick it.
Yep.
I mean, and they think that the louder they cheer, yell, clap, etc., actually is it's like what's that video game where you like hit a bunch of buttons and it builds up all the power level, and then you hit X and it punches really, really hard. That's kind of how I feel when I'm sitting anywhere near the sideline of a group of parents. That's what I feel. Like my head starts to spin, and I get it. I feel bad. I feel kind of like a douchebag, because it's like they love their kids, they love their friends' kids. They're out there, they brought their, Busch Lights, McUltras, and underdogs, and they're just having fun. And I should like be respectful of them being engaged with their kids, because there's plenty of people that don't do things for and with their kids, right?
Yep.
But I fear that the amount of time that I've spent around the fields and growing with, our boys and those teams, I'm kind of a bad soccer dad. I'm not good at it.
I'm terrible at it.
It is difficult, and I think the reason that the 3 of us have gotten along so well over the last couple of years is because we have a similar affinity for good soccer.
Yeah.
And good play, and we get frustrated when we know how it can be done.
Well, but even along those lines, like even amongst the adults that we surround ourselves with all the time, it's fun when the parents are on cruise control, and what I mean by that is like, letting the process run its course, because obviously the kids are getting extremely high level training, playing the best teams in the nation, and they don't need us to tell them what to do. They might like to hear the encouragement, but
mine don't.
And they don't want to hear you.
No. And I have over the tale of time, I have learned that, and each kid is different. 5 years ago, I would get into the car and I would tell my kid this, and that, and this, and you did this, and you did that, and you did that. And it just wasn't productive.
And I think that would be a whole topic, JB, that for another episode where we could talk just about the different style of being a soccer dad one-on-one with our soccer kid. Because I think we've all have different philosophies on, and it actually indicates probably a similar philosophy to our parenting, to a greater extent. But
I do have grandiose ideas, like as this thing continues to morph. And here's the thing: I'm extremely unorganized. I don't write any of this down. All day long in my head, I'm like, what are going to be the topics? What are going to be the things and segments and focuses? And, you missed the first part. We were testing this out. We kicked around some walk-up music, right? Intro music.
Oh, yeah.
Playing a little Spotify, picking songs.
Yeah.
And the one thing that popped up just a little while ago is it's not enough for us to be soccer dads talking to other dads and other adults about, whatever cool is going on, but we need a kid on here. We need one of our kids on here so that if we say, well, this is what soccer dads do, they can say bullshit.
Oh, they would
no,
be,
you don't.
Yeah,
no,
you'd
shouldn't.
You'd have a very interesting group of thoughts, and it would be very eye-opening, I think, for some of the parents. I mean, thankfully, my son's starting to open up and tell me exactly what he thinks about me and exactly what he thinks about my thoughts. So I get I get that every once in a while, if I'm lucky.
So does that require you going back to therapy?
I've been telling you that for 5 years, dude. I've been trying to correct your thoughts for 5 years, maybe 7.
I think it's going the other way around, though. I think, Jared. I think my influence is coming out more for you.
Well, I
me.
did have. I was not proud of myself yesterday.
Again, I'm gonna blow a whistle here. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I remember which one it is. Nope, not that one. We'll let it play out. You can't hear this, Zach, but
nope.
We have triggers that are super cheesy, like buttons, like gong show shit.
Like Squawk Box stuff.
Yeah, I just did that. I was looking for a whistle.
Mad Money.
Yeah, where the coins fall all the time, right?
Yeah.
Which is so annoying, because like when I walk early in the morning, I listen to Squawk Box, and all I hear is the stupid fucking coins falling.
Yeah.
When I watch the show, you can't hear it, you don't pay attention to it. But when it's podcast in my headphones, all I hear is that. So we won't do that. But what were we just talking about?
We were talking about behavior and how Zach would go from 1 to 100 miles per hour. At least this is what I got out of that last conversation. And he just basically told me that the script has been flipped a little bit with me. Would you agree, Zach?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was somewhat what I was saying. I just think that it's been interesting, from a parent influence perspective, how we have all gotten pretty close, not just soccer dads, but as friends, and how different behaviors have rubbed off and how we also vacillate between who's angry when. Thankfully, I think we've gotten to a situation where nobody's not one of them, all three of us have been angry at the same time. It kind of alternates.
I don't get angry.
I'm angry right now.
I don't get angry. He's always angry.
I'm angry right now.
I'm
angry at your cough.
I'm not coughing. I haven't coughed once.
Is that your pineapple partner there sitting next to you?
No, I walked away a long time ago. I don't know who's coughing.
No,
I'm actually the game's thankfully over now, and I'm just standing in the middle of the field.
Well, go get them their orange slices.
Yeah.
They thankfully stopped doing that a while ago.
Why would you?
Delicious.
As a child, that was one of the best things about the game.
Yeah, that was the best part. Snacks.
All right, so Zach, here's your homework assignment.
Yep.
Because the technology works. We need guest suggestions.
Okay.
We do have soccer mom triggers for our soccer mom guests.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that wasn't it. You can't hear it, but that was a good one. I think it's this one.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's super cheesy, and when you listen to the playback, you'd be like, "That was dumb." So think of names. Mandy's got to jump on one day here. I think you know what, guys? Couple session.
Ooh, I like that idea.
Literally, soccer mom, dad, couple session.
Yep. Hot tub.
Yeah.
Does electronics work and we're in water?
I can get a bag.
Can you bring Chardonnay? Is Chardonnay?
Yeah,
I think Chardonnay is a requirement.
Yeah, for the Chardonnays.
Yes.
All right, so that's your homework. We'll do that.
All right.
Think of a walk-up song and go find sponsors. Because if we get paid to do that, it'd be way better.
Yeah, that'd be a lot better, for sure.
All right, good. You work for Salesforce. Isn't that what you guys do? Sell shit?
We do. Yep.
All right, sell sponsorships because I mean this thing's gonna be huge. Like Rogan, he caught wind of this on my Twitter page with my 392 followers, and he's scared.
Well, I hear Alex Jones might be available.
Oh my God!
Call
That
the owner
dude.
of Salesforce. He's pretty awesome.
The owner.
Yeah, in case you're wondering who it is, Zach, it's the guy whose name is at the bottom of your check.
Yeah.
Let us know what he says.
I'll give old Benny off a call real quick, see if he's interested.
All right, good. Well, we're gonna let you go because we're gonna move this thing along, and otherwise, I've got too much to edit.
Yep. All right, guys. Enjoy.
Adios.
Thanks for the call.
See ya.
See ya.
That went well, easy.
Yeah.
He wasn't as interesting as Dana, and he's gonna be pissed as soon as we say that. But
I think he's interesting. I think he's got a lot of
kidding.
points. I don't know if I agree with some of the stuff.
oh, I know. Okay, so earlier, whenever I hit the buttons and then I got sidetracked, I'm like, what was I talking about? Remember at the beginning of this whole process, I said, this is full press, high press, meaning keep your mouth in front of the microphone because when you start looking around and talking, it's like Doppler effect.
It's in and out.
Yeah, bingo, right? See? You know exactly what I'm talking about. So we can't do that moving forward. Otherwise, you don't get a cut of the sponsorship money.
Yep.
And we will get sponsorship money. Somebody will pay us to, like, go away.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. It might be City. It might be our kids' program.
I was talking to Beckett on the ride here, and Beckett's like, what are you guys going to talk about? I said, I don't know. What do you want us to talk about? He goes, I think soccer. And he goes, I'm glad it's Jared first. He's funny. And I said, is there anything we shouldn't talk about? He goes, yes, our team and our coaches. I'm like, what are you worried about? I said, I got an edit button on here. We can just beep it out. He goes, please don't. And I looked at him, and like his face literally turned pale for about 7 seconds. I'm like, we're not going to talk about your team. We'll talk about you guys generically, but it's
Their team is so new. We couldn't even talk about it with any legitimacy.
that's true. See,
That's a cop-out.
you're already you're already dipping your toe into the cesspool of your son will be mad. Here's what I want to do because we're gonna move on real quick. You know that I'm a Twitter guy, right? I love Twitter. I troll everybody. Huge political fan. And this isn't because of current state of affairs. This was because of 1993, choosing that as my major and then getting a degree in it. I've always loved it. So on Twitter, there are a few people that are not clearly not political figures. They're not news figures. They are just people that take current events and situations and make it fun. And in my opinion, Miss F, have you followed her at all? Miss Frazzled. It's MS_ Frazzled, FRAZZLED. And her icon name is Miss MRS.F. She's a teacher. She's a kindergarten teacher. And what she's done is, I guess she started on TikTok, but what she does is these invisible person conversations with a theoretical student. And it's all based on our beloved number 45, talking to him about the current events of the day. So I'm going to play this one. Let's just take a listen to it and tell me what you think, because I laughed out loud today.
Okay. It's okay.
Oh, I'm going to go to the beginning. And we're backwards.
Good morning, my friend. Come take a seat with me.
Here, I'll let you watch it.
Okay, give me the Sharpie. You can practice later. No, I will not trade you the documents for the Sharpie. Give me, please. Thank you so much. Okay, we are going to talk about the subpoena. Do you remember what that means? Yep, the subpoena means we go to court and we tell the truth. Yeah, like the social. That's right, friend. Okay, so
Truth Social.
it's about the papers. Yep, the papers that you put in the wrong side of your folder. Yeah, that was a sad choice. You put them in the left at home side and not the right back to school side. I know. Okay. It's okay to not want to invite them to your birthday party. That's fine, but I still can't tell you who told on you, friend. But when we go to court, we might learn more, okay? Yup. Okay, we're going to be on our best behavior. Got it? I can't wait to see it. Let's go get McDonald's. Okay, you ready? Good morning, my friend. Come take a seat with me.
She's brilliant. And when you watch it, it's hard not to be like, oh, I get it. It's funny. Admit it. You saw it. You liked it.
I didn't like it.
You did like it.
I did not like it.
Yeah, see, you're just going to go on record. You're going to go on the recording, and because the red light's on, you're going to be like, no. I got to keep my line.
Here's what I don't like. That's an interpretation.
Which part? The left side of the folder or the right side of the folder?
I would agree with that.
Or the Sharpie?
I would agree with that.
Or the McDonald's?
What happens if the ones that he put in the left side of the folder were declassified?
Oh, my goodness. I'm pretty sure the point is none of it was probably put through the proper process to leave, period. Because his thinking ability and wishing it to be doesn't actually make it be. Think about it. Let's think about our home lives, right? We walk in, great day at work, good mood, little bourbon,
delete 35,000 emails,
do all that, and then here comes, Kelly walks down. Your wife, Kim, my wife, walks down, and in our own separate worlds, we look at them both, and kids are gone, and twinkle in the eye, and like, I wish it, I think it, but that doesn't make it true. That's what he did. He grabbed it, he thought it to be true, and we all know how that goes.
You just got to make it happen.
Yeah. All right, that was our beta. That was my beta, political jab right there. And I intended it to be funny.
It was funny.
It was fun.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
I'll send you more of hers. Actually, just follow her. You're on Twitter.
I don't think I will.
I think here's what we'll do. Actually, I don't want you to go out of your way. I'll just simply tag you on all of her posts so you'll see them. Fair enough? Therefore, you don't have to do any work. It'll be in your newsfeed.
Yep.
All right, Jared, we are well into total minutes. It's going to take me a little while to clean this shit up, if it works. But good thing is it's pilot. So those of you that are listening, if you made it this far, you need a life. 1. 2, thank you.
It's going to get better.
It will get much better, and we'll get it down to, because this is the longest Pee Wee game I've ever experienced in my life.
It's 0-0 still.
So we are, and I'm pretty sure I said it wrong. Is it well-being or well-spent?
Well spent.
Well spent. I don't know why I get that. Well-being. What is well-being? Is that? It's a PT.
45.
45. No. You're not 45. Well spent brewing. Thank you. We will tag you on this. And when you get through the first 7-8 seconds, which you won't ever hear this plea, we appreciate your beer rocks. Highly encourage anybody coming down to Midtown. Check it out. Jared, thanks. Round 1 in the books. We'll do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, here's the cool thing. You see all these open slots right there?
Mm-hmm.
That's how many people we can have with us. So we can make this thing bigger. Let's bring some people in. We can even pull a bait and switch. Somebody thinks, let's talk about something cool, and then really just get into, locker room bullshit.
Yeah.
You down with that?
I'm down. I'm down with all this. This is good. Because this is actually like probably standing on a parking garage watching our kids play. This is the same conversation we're having. It's we can jump around.
Totally.
This is fun.
Well, we'll pull some of the other parents in because for posterity purposes, I'm sure everybody will want their opinion put out there in the interworld of podcast so that they can prove that they were cool at some point. Because if you're not on social media, if it's not recorded, and if it's not distributed by Spotify or somebody else, do you really exist? You're thinking about it, but you know the answer is no.
I don't. No, I mean,
because
I think I exist, but you're probably right.
Yeah, because it's all about legacy.
How many times can you answer a question with "you're probably right"?
I don't know.
Like, I hear it all day long.
Well, you do tend to all that fentanyl that's coming across the border. Isn't that you? No, I'm just.
No, that
there we
ain't
go.
me.
I do have an idea for a walkout song, and we'll try other ones later. But I think this one works. Let me know what you think. Give us a follow when I have a page to follow, and appreciate you making it this far. Later.
Definition of my life, lying in bed in the sunlight, choking on the velvet tablet,